All right, howdy everybody. We are back at it again. Hopefully, this year's season will be a little bit better content, a little bit more deer dropping than last year. But today we're just kind of opening up and telling everybody kind of the setup that we're going to be trying to use this year. New concept to us, and I know it's kind of new, fairly new in the past 5 years or so. It's gotten real big. So, but we're gonna try saddle hunting this year. Only we're gonna do saddle hunting on a budget. Because every time I've looked up saddles from the name brand companies, you're looking at just for the saddle portion of it, $230, around that price range. And by the time you get through with all the ladders or the sticks that you're wanting to use and the ropes and everything that you're wanting to get for that, you're looking at $800 probably for a good set for the saddle. So we're doing it on a budget. I'm just going to go over kind of what I have and the price range. I bought everything that's on this rig off of Amazon. And so if I did it, you can too. And we'll see how well it works. And hopefully we can kill some deer from it this year. So first starting out, we have just a regular rock climbing harness. Now this is nothing that's too spectacular. It does have a nice thick back brace on it and some wider webbing for the legs as well. So if you're doing all day sits or whatever, it kind of helps with the pain in that. That, when I looked on Amazon, it's no name brand harness or anything, but this harness is costs $37.99. So right now we're at $38 for just the rock climbing harness. And then this rope I got off of Amazon is a 10mm rope, a static line for rock climbing. It's made for using that. You don't want to use any type of cheap rope, any rope that you just have sitting in the garage. You want to make sure that it's the proper test weight, that if you're going to be hanging on the side of a tree and trusting your life with it, you want to make sure that is going to hold you, because you don't want to be falling out of the tree. Too many people are these days. So that rope I got also off of Amazon, and this rope cost me for 32 feet of it cost me $20, $19.97. So right now 38 and 20, right now at $58. And then I also got 2 extra carabiners. I didn't have to, but I decided to go ahead and get some 2 carabiners. And these are 25 KN test pound. They're 5,600 pounds. These are for rock climbing and for arborists. So I got those as well. And for a pack of 2, they cost me $16. Okay? So right off the bat, everything that I have on me on this rig is costing under $100. So that right in and of itself is a big plus for me. I do not want to spend a ton of money for something that I don't have to. So we're gonna go ahead and throw this on, show you how I put it on, and then we're gonna go ahead and climb the tree with it. All right, so for this harness, I got my lineman's belt already hooked up to it, and that is the one thing key with this type of harness. You want to be able to have your lineman's belt already hooked up to it to be able to use. I'll show you here in a minute why. But we'll take that, make sure the straps are nice and wide. That way you don't have to worry about when you got extra clothes on during the winter or whatever. You don't have to worry about getting through those the legs. So put one leg through. Make sure you're putting the right one on. Then the other. You're gonna cinch it up. Then you're gonna take your lineman's belt, throw it up over your shoulders. So that way it's holding on there. You don't have to worry about having to hold it down. It's already doing the job for you. Then you're gonna take, do to one side. Don't cinch it down too tight until you get both on. So that way your buckle is right in the center. Cinch it down, that's in your lower back. All right, now that's all cinched down. We're gonna climb the tree. I just took one of my old climbing sticks, throw it up there just for today, just to show everybody. But first off, you're gonna take your lineman's belt. And how I have my lineman's belt set up here is I have just a double hitch attached to one of the loops on the line. And then I just have a 4 foot, 5 foot tag for my lineman's belt. And then I have a Prusik knot set up with the carabiner attached to the Prusik knot. So that way I can slide that and adjust it closer or further away from the tree as I go. And then most importantly, I have a stop knot on the end of the line. You always want a stop knot on your lines. So that way if for some reason that Prusik knot doesn't hold and it starts to slide, that knot is there. So that way you're not coming completely off the line and you're falling out of the tree. So I'll set that up, and then you come to the tree and just throw it through. And I'll take this tree. I just attach it there. Now I'm hands-free. I'm able to do whatever I need. We're just gonna go up a rung or two. And then I'll climb up a step. Just keep working my lineman's belt up the tree. Then attached already to my belt, my other line, and on this, just like the one before, is I have just a regular trucker's hitch with a nice lot. I went a little small on the loop. If anything, go a little bit bigger, a foot loop or something like that. And then it's about 5 foot long, depending on the size diameter trees you normally climb into. And then it's got a Prusik knot with the carabiner on it. I'll take my line with the loop on it, and I'll get it up around the tree. And now I want to come up about as high as I can reach and send that line through with the Prusik knot and everything through the loop. And then cinch that tight to the tree. That way that's there. Now with the Prusik knot, that's why I like this one. It's got the center loop on this harness. So that way I can take my Prusik knot and slide it down the line a little bit and attach there. And then what I'll do is I'll take the end of the tag line in my hand and I'll stand up, push it as high as I can, and now my lineman's belt is loose, and I can, now I'm fully just hanging off of that one line. Now there are some guys that will just go just the one line, and they'll shoot off of just the one line. You can do that. It's just kind of personal preference what you want to do. I'll bring my lineman's belt back around. It's turkey season. I'll bring my lineman's belt back around, and I'll come in front between me and the rope, and I'll hook it back to the side and run my access down through there and just give myself a decent little loop here. And then I'll come back to the tree. I don't even need to do that. I'll just release the carabiner and put it through there. So now it's in that carabiner. Then I'll pull on my rope, lower my Prusik, and then off the buckle. And then shoot my Prusik knot up. And now I have the V here. Then I just pull up and pull that Prusik knot down if I want to lean back, pull it up if I want to get any closer. And I can also shorten or lengthen this right here off of this. I'll just pull myself up. I can pull that down. And now that's all there is to it. Now this, it may not be as comfortable as an actual saddle, having something across the rug to be able to sit in. But I can I can sit in this for a good period of the day, if not all day. There's a lot of guys for work, climbing poles, climbing trees. They just wear these type of harnesses and they work all day. So it can be done. And for a budget, this is about the best you're going to be able to find. There are guys that they'll have a second strap that they'll bring in, just a regular lineman strap, and that they can bring across their shoulders and hook it to their carabiner. That way it has something that they can just lean back in to rest their shoulders. Some guys will even bring one that they can actually sit in if they want. But that's just kind of personal preference, whatever you want to do. With this type of setup, there's a lot of different options that you can do, a lot of different things that you couldn't do with other different things. So this is the setup that I have for this year, and we're gonna try and get down to Kentucky here in a month, 2 months, and try and make it happen there over a weekend. And we'll be using the tree saddles. And so I'm gonna go ahead and get my bow and I'm gonna take a few shots out of this, just kind of show you what the different angles, because really where you set up on a tree in a tree saddle is a little bit more important than with a just a regular tree stand, because in a tree stand there's a lot of different angles that you can shoot from, but with a tree saddle you're a little bit more limited on angles for your shot. So we're gonna go ahead and show that to you now. With the Y formation on the tree saddle, setting up, I got the target about 20 yards away, and we're gonna go ahead and take a few shots, just kind of show you from shooting the different shooting positions that you got to be in. And so, like I said earlier, the position that you hang your saddle in and you hang from the tree, you really have to watch of where your trails are going to be and where you set up. Because with me, I'm left-handed, so I want all my trails off to my right side, so I can come off and shoot this way, and I can shoot all these different right sides. Left side, I can swing around. It's a little bit more tricky, but I can swing around and shoot a left-handed if need be. But back here, further on my left side, I got no shot. So you want to kind of think that when you're positioning yourself, picking the tree that you want to get in, you want to figure out what side am I going to be shooting. So right-handers, left side you want to shoot. Left-hander, right side you want to be able to shoot. And then position your tree saddle accordingly. So we're going to go ahead and shoot one off my right side. One thing that we got to keep in perspective, if you're going to hunt in the saddle, especially if you're just going to get started just before season opens or just as season starts, you want to try and get out and practice, because like we've always said, shooting from the ground is different from shooting from a stand, so you want to practice that. But now shooting from a tree saddle, you want to be able to practice that. So any shot that you're faced with, you know whether or not you can make that shot. You know whether or not you need to wait for the deer to come closer, or what type of angle it's going to be. So that's something that you want to practice with. Right now, I'm 4 foot off the ground, or headwise, I'm 9 foot off the ground. So there's not as much of an incline. But if I'm 15, 20 feet in the air, like I would be bow hunting with, that shot's going to be a little bit different. So you always want to keep that in perspective. So shooting from a tree saddle, or at least the DIY tree saddle that we have, can be done, and it can be done effectively. The only thing is, this tree saddle is not going to be the most comfortable thing you ever sat in. I can tell you that. What is comfortable though is my wallet. I don't have to pay a ton of money for something that I can get for under $100. There are ways that you can make this thing a little bit more comfortable. You just kind of have to work with things that you can do, extra straps that you can use just to sit in type of thing. And those just a little bit extra weight. But that, in a nutshell, kind of is what we're going to be going with this year. And we'll go over maybe later on some of the ways that we're going to choose to ascend a tree. I'm still kind of figuring out exactly what I want to do this year. There's a couple different methods that you can do. I'm just not sure exactly what we're going to roll with this year. It is end of August, so we're hitting crunch time. But that's DIY tree saddle for you guys on a budget. If you're wanting to get started in tree saddle hunting, this is the way to do it. If you don't want to break the bank, spend $800 to $1,000 on tree saddle equipment, this is the way just to test out the waters under $100 and get everything that you want to use. Be able to test it out, you know. But that's what we have this year, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for watching today. We're gonna try come October get down to Kentucky and do some whitetail deer hunting in Kentucky, and we'll send some of that footage y'all's way. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next video.